in the year that Terrapin was released. 45 years ago, Doc Ellis pitched a no-hitter for the Pirates while tripping on LSD. In 1977. The average cost of a home was $49,000. The average income per year was $15,000. Monthly rent was $240, and a gallon of gas cost 65 cents. All right, some of the popular television shows in 1977: Laverne and Shirley, Happy Days, Three's Company, Charlie's Angels, All in the Family, the best show ever, and MASH. All right, on the Billboard charts in 1977, so the Grateful Dead had just come off all these incredible records: Mars Hotel, Blues for Allah, Wake of the Flood, this whole, and then this is what's popular music as the Grateful Dead are writing the music to Terrapin. You Make Me Feel Like Dancing by Leo Sayer, Car Wash by Rose Royce, Blinded by the Light by Manfred Mann's Earth Band, The Love Theme from A Star Is Born, Barbra Streisand, Rich Girl, Daryl Hall and John Oates, Dancing Queen by ABBA, Hotel California, The Eagles, Sir Duke by Stevie Wonder. Some of the popular movies in 1977: Star Wars, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Annie Hall, and Saturday Night Fever. All right, a couple of famous quotes from 77. May the force be with you. And we are two wild and crazy guys. So the Coneheads debuted on Saturday Night Live in 77. Paul McCartney and Wings released Maybe I'm Amazed. Fleetwood Mac's Rumors came out and went to #1 for 31 weeks. Apple Computer shipped its first Apple II computers in 77. And 6 people were killed in the band Leonard Skinner in a plane crash on the way to a show in Mississippi. 4 band members died. All right, the Grateful Dead in 1977, they played 60 shows. This was after sort of their hiatus of 75 going into 76. The most song played in 1977, Estimated Prophet 51 times. They played Samson and Delilah 41 times. Terrapin was played 28 times, and there were 5 morning dews in 1977. Tickets averaged about $7.50. Who went to shows in 77? Who saw the Grateful Dead in 77? All right, we got a bargain. Englishtown, my first Grateful Dead concert, was $10. In 77, Scarlet Fire was introduced as a combo jam. The Grateful Dead movie premiered in 77, filmed in 74. And the Grateful Dead brought in sound systems to some of the big premieres that played. Who went to the Grateful Dead premiere in New York City, the Ziegfeld Theater in 77? All right, I was there too. All right, so Terrapin Station. This is the first record they were going to make for Arista. Clive Davis signed them. If you listen to the songs from that era, you can hear Weir singing Jack Straw. We used to play for Silver, now we play for Clive. And so he signed them. Track listing, as we all know: Estimated Prophet, Dance in the Streets, Passenger, written by Phil Lesh, Samson Delilah, Sunrise. The first side's about 20 minutes, 19-20 minutes. Second side, Terrapin, Lady with a Fan, Terrapin Station, Terrapin, Terrapin Transit, At a Siding, Terrapin Flyer, and the refrain, about 16 minutes on the record. So Keith Olsen produced that record. He produced the Fleetwood Mac record. They wanted a commercial producer, and so they brought him in, and it created some friction for the band. But first, the story about how Hunter wrote Terrapin, the lyrics for Terrapin, in one sitting. There was a big lightning storm in the Bay Area, and he was at home, and that same day, Garcia was driving over the San Rafael-Richmond Bridge and had some inspiration of some melody, turned around, drove home so he could write it down, record it, something so he could remember it. And the next day, him and Hunter met, and Hunter said, "I have lyrics for a song," and Garcia said, "I have music for the song." And that's how Terrapin was written. The same day they came up with that. So a couple of interesting facts about when they were recording the record. So the Grateful Dead are notorious for being triple ADD and not being able to concentrate in the studio. And so Keith Olsen had Steve Parrish, the roadie, go to a hardware store and buy these giant nails. And when the band got into the studio, he nailed the studio door shut so they couldn't leave. So the band was stuck in there. And they recorded a bunch of stuff, and they went on tour, and they came back, and this all happened in LA. And while the band was on tour, Keith Olsen did all these overdubs. He actually erased, apparently, like a whole entire Mickey Hart section. And then, of course, Mickey freaked out, and Garcia took part side, and they re-recorded and put it back in. But of course, there's all the strings and horns that he added, and there was a lot of compromises. But it was, it was interesting. The other thing about Keith is that Keith told Phil that his bass sounded like a broomstick with one string made from rope. That's a direct quote. And Olsen kept saying, you gotta play better, you gotta play better. And Weir at one point said, we don't play any better than this. And Olsen told the band, we're gonna make you play better, it isn't too late. So it was an interesting, and this was the first record that they recorded with an outside producer since I believe it was Anthem of the Sun. So everything else was produced in-house beyond that. A couple other things. So English Town, my first Grateful Dead concert. Mickey had a broken wrist, and Donna sat on a stool. She had some health issues. I think Phil tells the story that Mickey drove off of some road and actually put his Porsche into a tree, and he was sort of hanging in a tree, and that's how he broke his wrist. English Town was sort of like this. The heat was about 100 degrees. 100,000 people, new riders, Marshall Tucker, and the Grateful Dead, if I remember correctly. All right, so anyway, everybody ready for Terrapin? Lead on, friends? All right, so thanks for coming. Playing the role of Bob Weir with some Jerry Garcia leads thrown in, we have Lebo, our band leader. Playing the role of Keith Godchow, Jordan Feinstein. On bass, we have Murph, playing the role of Phil Lesh. Now on drums, we have Ezra playing both Mickey and Billy. Right? He's that good. And ladies and gentlemen, playing the role of Jerry Garcia, Mr. Stu Allen. Also joining on vocals, we have dual Donna Godchows. We have Paige Clem and Leslie Grant, who will be up here for those songs. Everybody enjoy. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Jay. How about for Jay Blakesberg, everybody? Yeah. A good friend of ours.